I'm sure we can all agree that it is truly wonderful to be back here in person for this 200th anniversary year of the Royal Highland Show. The Scottish Government recognises and we hugely value the enormous role that farmers and crofters play in Scottish life. We want to work with you to help overcome the difficulties faced, but also to take advantage of the many opportunities that are out there. And that's because we know that the success of farmers and crofters is absolutely fundamental. It's fundamental to our environment, it's fundamental to our economy, and it's absolutely fundamental to the sustainability of our rural communities.
We do have an issue in the industry. We need to engage about how we as an industry actually deliver environmental health and actually look to reduce our footprint. I've been in the space for 25 years. I'm passionate that our industry can deliver the challenge that our children and our grandchildren are asking of us today. We are currently measured on what we call gross emissions. So on a farm, we produce methane from manures and from belching cattle and sheep. We produce nitrous oxide from wet soils. We produce CO2 from tractors and heating buildings. That is all added up, and that is your gross output, and that is currently what the industry is reported against. But you and I all know that the landscapes we manage are full of plants. What do plants do? They photosynthesize, they take carbon dioxide out of the sky, lock up carbon, release oxygen. Over the next 4 years, we will measure every single field, every single tree, every single hedge to give farmers a baseline and to inform them where are they on this journey, so that at least they know where they're starting from, and at least they know what are the areas that they need to focus on and what are the areas they don't need to focus on.
Farmers in Scotland already play a hugely important role here as responsible businesses and responsible stewards of one of Scotland's biggest assets, which is our land. As most of you know, I spent a fair amount of time at COP in Glasgow last November. Questions around land use, how to reduce emissions from agriculture were very prominent in so many of these discussions. But they also brought home to me just how fortunate Scotland is to have farmers and a food and drink sector who are already so actively involved in efforts to reduce emissions.
We spend all our money in reactive healthcare and not in proactive healthcare. Nothing beats actually having more nutritiously dense and diverse food. Red meat has a role to play on that. What we need are smarter metrics that bring together improving human health and environmental health at the same time. We currently don't have that. And we actually do need this if we want to deliver for society, for our children and our grandchildren. With good science, with measuring, reporting and verifying the journey, the red meat and ruminant farming industry has an essential role to play in delivering both human and environmental and global health.
Despite the fact that these are undoubtedly challenging times for farmers, perhaps for some of you the most challenging times you have ever experienced, this show highlights, as it has always does, that there are also many reasons for optimism for the future. Farmers and the food and drink sector continue to have a deservedly high reputation. Your importance, I think, is more evident to all of us than it has ever been. People and the government value your role as food producers, as stewards of our land, and as cornerstones of our rural economy. Fundamentally, we recognise that principle that the Highland Show has reinforced for 2 centuries now, that farming is not just important, it is essential and integral to the well-being and the prosperity of the entire nation. So let me end just by reiterating my commitment and the commitment of the Scottish Government to working with you as we navigate the challenges that lie ahead, as we cope with rising costs, and as we work to enhance and protect our environment, and as we help farms and food producers to flourish, which is essential to the country as a whole flourishing. So I'm really delighted to have been able to join with you this morning. I'm looking forward to putting around some of what the show has to offer, and I look forward very much to working with all of you in the months and the years to come. Thank you very much.